Hi, thanks for joining us on our special TV report on Gladiators track with Akon.
After the intriguing year 2022, especially for the Nigerian legal space, the year 2023 has started off on a heated note, notably the inadequacy in the Nigerian judiciary system, characterized by the slow administrations of justice, the congestion of pending cases in law courts or carryover cases from last year, the corrupt practice among legal practitioners, among others. What are the agendas to engender effectiveness in the justice system and enhance efficiency in its operations, among other development moves? Let's find out from our learned personalities in today's episode.
I tell you, I promise you, it's going to be very incisive.
Chief Wole Olanipekun SAN is a seasoned, well-decorated and distinguished legal luminary with a rich history and great impact beyond the legal field. With his contributions towards both legal and national development, he is a founding partner of Wole Olanipekun & Co., a leading law firm that provides services across corporate governance, corporate restructuring and insolvency, litigation and dispute resolution. Chief Olanipekun SAN started his career in 1975 with a Bachelor of Law degree at the University of Lagos. His leadership qualities earned him the Secretary General at the institution's Students' Union seat as an undergraduate. He proceeded to the Nigerian Law School, Lagos, and was called to the Nigerian Bar in 1976. Then, an honorary degree of Doctors of Letters, honoris causa, at the University of Ibadan in 2014. So far, Chief Olanipekun SAN has been the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of Ondo State, an officer of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Governing Council of the University of Ibadan, and currently Chairman Body of Benchers. He became a Senior Advocate of Nigeria in July 1991, and in October 2022, he was confirmed the honor of the Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by President Muhammadu Buhari.
It can only improve, it can't go down. Countries in the world, all America, England had a time when things were not good. They got together and did this thing, I'm telling you, bring a stakeholders this thing to improve it. It's nothing new in Nigeria. That English judiciary is almost 10,000 years old. You are comparing that with Nigerian judiciary, or the American judiciary is about 200 years old. I'm not justifying all what is going on. I'm not. Don't say I'm justifying it. But we want to walk before we crawl. But I believe that if a stakeholders meeting or committee is set up, then things will improve. And people concerned with the judiciary should listen to these views of everybody and try and implement it with the active support of the Chief Justice. Then things will start improving.
On paper, we are independent, but we have put ourselves in shackles by the lack of good governance all these years. When I was in the university, I attended the then University of Ife. There were foreigners in Ife doing undergraduate work. We have so many foreign lecturers teaching. At those times, it never crossed our minds that Nigerians will be going to Togo or Ghana to go and look for university education. But today, look at where we are. Unlike the late MK Abiola will say, I'm doing rough translation. He said, you gave birth to a baby in a corrugated iron sheet building. You now went out to go do the naming in a thatch roof. Is that progress or lack of progress? For me, there is a lot of things to make us to, as Nigerians, to do soul searching. The whole brouhaha about who will be president, he must come from one particular village or one particular place. Even the whole idea about zoning is evidence of failure of leadership. If you have been having good leadership, who were just, fair, honorable, honest, you and I will never mind if the president of Nigeria and the vice president are from the same house. It's because of lack of delivery of what has now been known as dividend of democracy or good governance. That's why people now think that if you don't come from a particular village, that village will never see progress. And it shouldn't be. My expectation is that I hope people will play by the rules and that the umpire will stand upright. That INEC will stand upright and do its duties in accordance with the enabling laws. And of course, this is a tall appeal, it is a tall order, that Nigerians should stop selling their franchise. You can't sell your vote and still expect that you're able to query those who emerged to do well. Because once you sell your vote, that is trading.
My policy has always been just three words. I have to be fair. I have to be firm. And more importantly, faith. Because if you are very fair in how you deal with your clients, your adversaries, you navigate easily. Some colleagues are unnecessarily combative. They must fight. They must object to everything. They must oppose everything. They must put impediment into a seamless proceedings, which is not, Then being firm also means that, look, a lot of people know me within the legal profession that I'm fair-minded, but I'm a very firm person. I'm one person that I hold on to principles. My principle is that you deal with everybody according to how you see him, how you know him, what are the circumstances. And therefore, in whatever I do, I make sure that I always look back and say, look, I'm here where I am. It is fate and destiny that has taken me here. It's not that I'm an extraordinary person. It also helped me in dealing with people. I rarely can call anybody names. If I think I have said the wrong word to you, I can assure you and you can find out. Before the end of the day, I'll call you to say, oh boy, I'm sorry. I think that thing I said, it wasn't right. Let bygone be bygone. So that is the kind of thing that I think has propelled me to be able to stand where I am today.
Well, the terrain is now very difficult, I must tell you. There are challenges in the society which you cannot divorce from any profession. When I came to the legal profession in the early 80s, it was then a different terrain from what you find here. But even now today, with the introductions by technology and all sorts of advancement, it becomes a lot more difficult, even almost impossible, to say that what was obtainable in my early days would be obtainable today. But still, either way, you still find that every person, to succeed in any profession, you must work hard. You must know what you want to do. But when you say work hard these days, it's difficult for many young lawyers to understand what meant by working hard. But working hard entails being fully aware of what you need to do to succeed. However, I also think that the legal education in Nigeria also needs to be changed so that the lawyers who are coming out of the law school are equipped with the realities of modern times. There are some courses, I think, that are taught in universities and in law school, which, in my view, are completely of no use in today's world.
Certainly, yes. I believe so. Because, let's give an example. Our leaders always say they are going there, they are going to this place, part of the globe, that part, to invite foreign investors. The role the legal profession will play in that is not small. Because somebody who is coming here to invest will want to see that your legal system works. They are coming, they will enter into a number of contracts. They will make sure that there are ways, if somebody tries to cheat them, there will be ways of getting justice. And by the time they know justice can be attained, they will be confident to invest their money. That is one of the ways it will impact on the global economy.
Every time there's a change in commerce, in industry, in the society, there's an opportunity. Either an opportunity for a dispute or an opportunity to bring people together. In all those situations, you need lawyers. Now we're looking at things like cryptocurrency, we're looking at blockchain, everything is going online. And these are areas that lawyers will start looking at, either to resolve disputes in the blockchain industry, legal tech. Then look at the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. When that takes off and there's export and imports in between African countries, it's a whole new area of law, trade law, that lawyers are going to be looking at. So I think there are areas, as the times change and continue to evolve, there continue to be more and more areas of new interest for lawyers to look into.
Kunden Services Limited is a leading financial technology consulting company in sub-Saharan Africa that provides financial services solutions across and beyond Africa, with operating bases in Nigeria, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. Kunden Services serve as the nexus to various merchants and consumers via its secure e-payment and order fulfillment solutions. The innovative company specializes in financial management, analysis, and planning, including fraud management, cashless systems, security and transaction monitoring, as it continues to widen its reach within the financial space.
The answer is straight to what we used to have in the past, and that is the Law Reform Commissions. Now, when you have the Law Reform Commission, they watch what had happened in the past and also work on the present in order to take care of the future. Now, that has been brought to the background. If we do have Law Reform Commission in the papers today, 1. 2, our court system. Now, when you have judgments from the appellate courts, in most cases, it gives direction to the lower court. When I talk of the appellate court, I talk of the Supreme Court, that is the apex court. Then I refer to the Court of Appeals. That is also part of it. Once you want direction, that is where you will get direction. Thirdly, the university, the ivory tower, where every judgment that comes from the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal are subject to review. And most of them, most of the top professors will give a dissection on how the law ought to be. The ones that are in the law book, in the statutory book, is how the law is. So when you submit such to the Law Reform Commission, it's likely that that will be the basis for lawmaking and an improvement on the system. So that is in-house. Policy direction of government. Government have lost interest in the justice system.
The law serves a lot of purposes, including driving the economy. A lot of investors will not come to Nigeria or will come to Nigeria depending on their perception of the justice sector, the efficiency of the justice sector. Many times you find that they are interested in, if disputes must arise when human beings interact. Disputes must arise. So dispute resolution mechanisms that you have in the country, especially commercial dispute resolution, the investor is highly interested in that. So if you put in place mechanism, efficient, fast, efficient, and independent, unbiased mechanism for dispute resolution, they will come to you. You find that there are some jurisdictions, there are some countries people have trusted over the years, so that even when they are entering agreements in Nigeria or they are entering agreements in Ghana, they want to say that it is the law of that country that we will use to resolve our dispute when dispute arises. So, first and foremost, your dispute resolution mechanism is an influence in investor destination. Not only that, you use the law as instruments of socio-economic engineering. You use the law to establish some businesses. When you want to do aviation, law regulates everywhere. So how good your law is, how well you enforce it, helps the economy. There's hardly anything that you do is guided by law.
Well, if you say dilapidated, that's a very, very strong word. The legal profession has come a long way, and expectedly, there are challenges. As you can observe, the Nigerian economy is getting bigger, Nigerian population is getting bigger. So you expect a lot of changes to come on board. But the most fundamental one is that the judiciary, the third arm of government, is seriously underfunded. In fact, a lot of African countries, a lot of other jurisdictions, they've left Nigeria behind. The kind of budgetary allocation to the judiciary is abysmally very poor compared to the role the judiciary plays in nascent democracy and even in justice delivery system. So it is what you give that you're going to get. So the solution to the problem is for us to readdress the funding mechanism. And to my mind, I think the Nigerian Bar Association needs to play a greater role. We need to be able to interface with the legislative and executive arm of government for us to get the kind of funding that will reposition the judiciary, especially if you look at the context that most of our courts still take proceedings in long hand. That is very, very archaic. It's not supported. The technology has improved everything now. You have digital courtrooms where the major role of a judge is to observe the dominion of the witnesses and not to be a typewriter that will be taking long hands. In the process of taking long notes, the major role that the court or the judge is supposed to play is relegated to the background. So in the long run, what we need to do, and do very fast, is to readdress the funding system for our judiciary.
Constitutional amendment, yes. But you see, the problem in Nigeria is this. Those who are supposed to really ensure that the provisions of the constitutions are effected. The players in the system, they are the ones that are abusing. Even when you amend the constitution, I remember if they don't practice what the provisions of the constitution, you will still find that we are not there. I remember the president made an order some time ago and asking that funds meant for the judiciary and local governments should be paid over to them directly. But what we face now is that they still go cap in hand to the state governments to get their money, which shouldn't be the case. So I believe there will be an improvement if constitution is amended along that line. The situation now does not encourage any business, and it doesn't encourage foreign investment. You find that we are in a situation where government has virtually thrown in the towel. And that is why we are finding that some of international companies are leaving the shores of this country for neighborhood, Ghana, for example.
Like every other thing in the world, the legal system evolves, because technology changes. There are certain parts of the law that people never did before. There's now communication law, entertainment. So the law is evolving as the world is evolving. Technology is coming in. Lawyers are keen in. The fintechs now. When we are younger, you never heard GSM. A lot is happening in the telecommunication, the energy law and that. And now people are talking about internet, laws of internet and everything. So it's quite a dynamic profession. That's why lawyers are said to be learned and not just educated. I disagree with that. There's justice for everybody. When you see the emblem of justice is an old lady that is blindfolded, so she doesn't see the rich, she doesn't see the poor. On the contrary, they say that the law or the courts are the hope of the poor man or the common man. What you can talk about is perhaps the access to justice that's been really is expensive. In Lagos, they're getting it right. They have a office of the public defender who can take up cases for those who are not able to do that. So really, in Nigeria, you can't say there's no justice for the poor. Rather, the government can do more to have access to justice made quite easy for the poor. Lagos is doing right on that score. And there's a lot of NGOs too who take up people's cases. Even some law firms, sometimes we do matters pro bono.
I honestly believe that the Legal Practitioners Act, the way it is good. The problem of the profession is not about lack of laws, but it's about implementation of the laws. It's about observance of the laws. I believe that if the extant provisions of the Legal Practitioners Act are properly implemented, then the situation will improve. Well, for the legal sector, I've said it, the first thing they will have to do will be to genuinely collaborate with the judiciary to ascertain their needs, to do appropriate funding for the judiciary, and to avoid a situation whereby members of the judiciary, especially judges, will be cowered through agencies of state. They should allow the judiciary to operate as an autonomous body. They should respect what is called the rule of law. Once judgments are given, they should be obeyed. If sanctions are passed, they should be respected. And of course, as an important organ of the state, they should be carried along in formulating policies that may affect the judiciary. This will be my minimum expectations from the incoming government.
Most people associate legal practice with litigation. In other words, you wear your wig and gown in the morning and you rush off to the courts and you are arguing cases. Yeah, that is the most well-known aspect, and it may be the most prominent aspect, but it's not necessarily the most beneficial aspect for a lawyer. The wealthiest lawyers now, the ones doing very well, are those involved in commercial practice of law, where they deal with things like registration of cases, arranging funds for banks, people involved in telecommunication law, maritime law, all those areas in which people sit in their offices and draw up documents for signature, for registration. Those areas are quite lucrative in the practice of law. Then we have the practice of mediation, which has become very popular. One other area of practice which is extremely important, particularly in modern times, is arbitration. Arbitration, I've talked of mediation. Arbitration is like going to court, but the parties choose the court. They choose the people who are going to arbitrate. So they are choosing their own court. One person chooses one, the other person chooses another person. The two who are chosen choose the third to be the chairman. Most cases involving arbitration are commercial cases, involving a lot of money in various transactions.
Seniority is very important. It's one of our traditions at the bar. So we must accord seniority to those who have gone ahead of us. So we must restore this. Otherwise, it is not good for the profession. There are a lot of areas that they are decline. Even the mode of appointment of some judges called for question. In those days, over 30 years ago, the mode of nomination selection of candidate for appointment of judges, to my mind, were more strict than now. So in my view, to strengthen the bench, let the best come out, both from the bar as well as from the judiciary. so that both the bench and the bar can work together for effective dispensation of justice.
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gives right of association, freedom of association. So it is the right of every citizen to belong to whatever association he chooses. But I am a conservative member of the legal profession. I do not believe that there should be proliferation of bar association. I have been chairman of MBA of Lafayette and Nasarawa State. I have been an official of the branch for quite a long time. So sometimes when you say proliferation of bar, it's a reflection of the controversy in Nigerian politics. For me, it was not necessary, but like I started, it's their right to associate, so there's really not big deal. If some members of the association feel that they want to bankroll another bar or law association, so be it.
Hey, and that's about it from us to you. I believe you enjoyed it just the way I did. Don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel on Gladiators Track with Akon. And also, don't forget to watch next week, same time, same station. And that's about it for now. Bye, and God bless.